Hi Taurus, and welcome to this weekly reading for the week of the 26th to March 3rd. So this is a reading in the beginning with general energies and a general picture. And in the second part, we will look at relationship dynamics. This doesn't have to be a romantic relationship, but of course it can be a romantic relationship. We will look at energies from outside that are influencing you or that are having an impact on you at this time. Okay, so, ooh, money, big money. We do have a nice little 10 of Pentacles. That's a beautiful, beautiful manifestation energy where it's like, okay, we are now capable of really bringing our dream to fruition when it comes to what we want to build in this life. Maybe we are also finishing up a project, arriving at the place where we're like, oh, now finally I got what I deserve, or I finished up this thing that I wanted to build, or I manifested something. Something is coming into reality. So the 10 of Pentacles, of course, can be about money, about achieving something related to money, also a job, building something. Maybe you've arrived also in your relationships at a place where you're like, oh, this is exactly what I or not exactly, but this is what I imagined that I can achieve, and now I did it. You know, it's a very beautiful, beautiful, beautiful energies. Great energy for money and wealth, and also for career, of course. Also for creative projects that really have a product involved, so where you build something that needs to be finished and wrapped up. This can also be something that's really beneficial for a project that you want to finish. 3 of Swords. Interesting that you're bringing this into the picture, and that this is part of the situation, because with the 3 of Swords, it seems like there's worry connected to building some sort of security for yourself, whatever that means, because we have the Queen of Pentacles here as well, and she is really that person who is looking back at the long road she's been through, she's walked to achieve security and a sense of groundedness and a sense of wealth as well, and abundance. So she is a very accomplished person, I want to say, very sophisticated person who's really worked hard for where she's at right now. And she might be looking back at what she's achieved so far in a proud way, I want to say, because she's also holding this pentacle in her hand. So she might be looking back at the road that brought her to success, and maybe also understanding that part of that road was having to make decisions that are not easy, having to make those decisions that are head over heart, having to face those wounds, those triggers, those uncomfortable moments, those things that are hurtful, those things that are making us worry about the future. So she's bringing that into the picture. She might be carrying still a little bit of worry around with her, but she also is grounded enough to understand that this is part of the picture, I want to say. So this is kind of not something that we can just ignore right now. Still, we've achieved everything we wanted. We have everything we wanted, but it just is attached to a certain sense of worry. And that's fine. That's fine with her, because it's called responsibility, and that's what the Queen of Pentacles or of Discs is actually the best in this whole deck. She is the Queen of responsibility, and responsibility brings worry, and responsibility brings making decisions that are uncomfortable, and responsibility brings results. And what's beautiful also in this whole picture is that this responsibility does not take away from all the freedom that is there at the same time. It might even bring a sense of freedom. This is very counterintuitive, I know, but sometimes a certain sense of structure, a certain sense of positioning when it comes to setting up a life of meaning brings a lot of freedom, because you set some boundaries that help you confine yourself to have the security and the grounding to even let new ideas come in. I think this creative energy of the Fool is something that helps us not get too worn down or held down by the day-to-day things, you know, like I have to pay the bills, and then I have to go to work, and then I have to feed the kids, and then I have to walk the dog. This is all the Queen of Pentacles does all these things with some sense of it's the most normal thing to do, you know. It's not like, oh, I have to do all these shitty things. She's not a complainer. And the Fool energy might help to bring in more fun, more lightness, more freshness, so it doesn't get boring, so we don't get bored by our own accomplishments because sometimes we build ourselves a thing that is beautiful and that's what we wanted, but then it's like, oh well, now I have this and now I have to do all these chores and things to sustain it. But it can be fun, there can be a lot of freedom and new ideas and creativity in continuing to build, because it seems like you've arrived at a point where you have everything you want, or you wanted, to feel stable, safe and secure. And now it's time to play and have a good time. To maybe also balance out this worry part a little bit, because sure, there's always something to worry about, you know, of course. If you have a kingdom, if you have built your own kingdom or queendom, there will always be things that you can focus upon that are not perfect, or that need fixing, or that need maintenance. You know, it's like there's always something. But right now, maybe it's about letting go and inviting in fun and letting your heart be a little more open to the lighter things. All right, so that's what I see here. This is nice though. Good job, man. Relationships. This other person or other energy or energies you're drawing in right now. 7 of Wands in the reverse. Well, okay, somebody has a trouble maybe with boundaries. Somebody might be very defensive, or maybe having a hard time not getting offended by criticism. I'm already hearing narcissistic alarm. But you know, it's not everybody is just like a full-blown personality disorder narcissist. But there might be some unbalancing. Something might trigger a person because you might be taking your time to find a way to move forward, or you might not make rash decisions, or you might really try to balance out a situation mentally, and that might somewhat make a person uneasy. I can also see that you might be very carefully moving towards a person because they need to be approached in a very sensitive way because they are so defensive, and that could very well be a narcissistic type of person. Because it can be quite dangerous, you know, to criticize people who are just not ready for it. And you're coming from a place of peace here, though, with the Two of Swords and a place of balance and artistry even, you know. It's still an emotional place, or we are still very aware of our emotions, but we are capable of distancing ourselves from them with the Two of Swords. There is really some sort of conflict going on. Five of Swords. With the Five of Swords, this is really about the truth. But the truth is often different for different people. And it's like, you know, George Costanza from Seinfeld says, it's not a lie if you believe it's true. And you might be dealing with a person who is in that mindset, you know, it's not a lie if you believe it's true. This is about having a conflict with strong opinions clashing, and everybody has their own truth in those strong opinions, and it's about winning as well. I want to say, don't fall into the trap of having to win at all costs, especially with a person who has weak boundaries right now, because they might just act out. This can, because you're coming from a place of peace, but the Five of Swords is not peaceful, and it can become very ugly. Even though you're telling the truth, even though you know you're right, it might still become very ugly, because it might just, things might be said that are very hurtful, even though true, maybe, but things might be said that are very uncomfortable, and sometimes people are not able to take it. And they might have a hard time reacting to it in a constructive way. This could be you, this could be the other person. I don't think that this is I don't think that you can stop this right now in this situation. I think it's inevitable in some sense, because it's upright, you know, so it can be something that can in the long run be beneficial, but right now it's just about trying to keep it civilized. Keep it civilized, you guys. Don't go apeshit. Knight of Swords in the reverse. Yeah, don't lie. Don't use, I mean, don't lie to yourself mostly, and don't get too cold. And I'm saying this for both parties, it doesn't matter. It's just because the Knight of Swords is here in the reverse and can be quite controlling with the Emperor in combination. Oh my god. And the Ace of Wands in the reverse. So be very careful. There is a saying in German, the smarter person gives in. The dumb person falls into the river. It's like it comes from two people pulling a rope on two different sides of the river, and you know, it's like you can fall if you have somebody close enough and then you let go, then you might be the person that is, you might be the smarter person to let go. So yeah, we probably are the smarter people when we let go of conflict. I think it's probably a universal truth. Or when we know when to let go of the conflict, because it's also timing. I'm just really seeing this, don't use some sort of tactics to get something out of a person, it's not going to work, I think. It's just going to make things more complicated. All right, let's see what the oracle card has to say. Ooh, co-create. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty on point. A conflict is only a conflict when two people are participating, you know, first of all. You co-create a conflict maybe here that might be beneficial. Who knows? Sometimes a conflict can be quite fruitful because we learn how to work ourselves through something, but you can co-create also the, I want to say, the rules of the conflict. You know, you can play by rules, or you can play by your own rules. And I would say don't play by your own rules, play by the rules that are established, that are kind of accurate for this type of conflict. All right, that's what I have for you, Taurus. That's the reading. It's a reading about conflict. I'm sorry, but it might be helpful, I hope. So yeah, have a great week, and please subscribe to this channel, or consider subscribing, liking and commenting, and I can't wait to see you back next time. So goodbye.